Hey everyone, today I would like to take you through the Simmons Media Manager and just give you a brief walkthrough to show you what is involved in using and setting up the Media Manager. So we'll start out by logging into our screen here. Now, when you log in, you will only see your name showing up here. We have a bunch of different profiles showing up, so I'll just log into the demo mode and we'll load that profile. All right, so this is just the general work area. As of right now, it's completely blank, but I just wanted to show you what we have here. On the left-hand side, you have the asset area. This is where all your assets will be loaded. Now, an asset could be either a JPEG image or a video file, whatever you want to put onto the screens, and they will sit over on this side of the screen. On the right side of the screen is where we have the asset details. So once you click on an asset, you will see all the details about where it's scheduled, when it's scheduled, where it's scheduled to play. You'll also have all the different players listed here, and you'll be able to see the different player names and what playlists are playing in which player. So to start with, let's add a player. So we'll go to Show Players, and we'll go over to New and New Player. And in here, we're just going to call this one Demo for right now and hit OK. And I think we'll actually add another player as well. Let's call this one Office. And we'll add a third one just for example's sake here. And this one might be Main Street. So we have 3 different players here. Now let's click on one of these players. Going into here, you will see the area where the playlist would reside. This is what assets are running on that screen. As of right now, we have nothing listed, so it's blank. But right-clicking on any one of these players will give you a bunch of options. Let's go into Player Details. Player Details will tell you that it's an active player, the name of the player, the short name. This is the name that's used when setting up the actual player software at the screens, and we'll go through that in a separate video. And you have the location. Now, what you can do is, if you have a bunch of different locations, you can list them by different towns. Perhaps you want to schedule different content for different cities. But we'll enter in Morden for right now. There. And we'll hit the green save button here. And it is now saved to Morden. We'll do the same on the Main Street one. So you now have players listed, and you see the names as well as the cities that they are located in. So let's add some assets that we can use for our players. Clicking anywhere in this area will open up a dialog box where you can select any of the assets that you would like to load. The other option, and what I prefer to do, is to go to any Finder, go to your Finder window, select an asset, and just drag it over onto the screen, and it loads into this area. Now, you can load multiple assets at once if you have a bunch of different things. So why don't we do that? We do have a JPEG, we have 2 MP4 video files. So let's select this JPEG and these 2 video files, which are of different lengths as well, by the way. And we'll load all 3 of these into the asset area, and you'll notice that they all load into the area. And there we go. We now have multiple assets loaded into the asset area. So let's schedule these assets. Let's click on our first one here. Now we do have a preview window over on the right hand side, so you see what the asset is that will be playing. You have the name of the asset here. You also have the duration. In this case, it's a JPEG. Being that it's a JPEG, it's a still image. We could have this up here for 10 seconds, which is the default, or we could have it up for 30 seconds, a minute. We could have it up for an hour if that's what we wanted to have on the screen. So you just punch in whatever you want over here. We could change this to 30 seconds, and that asset would now be listed for 30 seconds when it hits the playlist. We will go back to 10 seconds here, though. We'd find that to be a decent amount of time as a rule. Then we have display from, and display from is the date that it is starting. In this case, we are December 15th right now. It will display from December 15th at 12 a.m. until January 15th at 11:59 p.m. Now, by default, everything gets displayed for 1 month. You can completely change this to whatever you like. We could go in and change this asset. Instead of January 15th, we can go up in the calendar here. Let's say it ends Christmas Day. And we have it now listed from 12/15/2021 to 12/25/2021. The play between option, this is if you were to have, say you're running a restaurant and you wanted to have a lunch menu running on the screen. You could have it running from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. if you wanted. And you could enter in that time right here, starting at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And between these dates, it will appear at those times. You can take that further, and if you didn't want it running on the weekend, you could turn off simply by clicking on the name. You could turn off Saturday and Sunday, and it would run Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. between December 15th and December 25th. So you can really customize this however you like. And we will set that back so that it plays all week long. And here we have our players that we created previously. They are listed down the side. We have our demo, our main street, and our office player. You can sort this. This becomes more of a thing if you have, say, 10, 15, 20 different players. You could go down and show only the modern players. That's all you see. Or you could show only the Winnipeg players, and you'll see just the players in that town or city. We're going to go back to show all. And in this case, we're going to select all of them. Simply hit select all. Or again, you could just click on or click off to turn the players on and off. Once we've done this, we're going to have this asset playing in all three of these players. Simply hit save. And you'll notice that the icon up here now changes to green. This way you know it is now an active asset, and it is in fact scheduled and running on a player. I should mention that this being a JPEG, this is scaled at 1280 by 720. That is a perfect TV size. I did load this one on purpose. It is pretty much square. It's not an exact TV size. So what happens when you schedule this on a player? It will play showing the entire image. However, you will have a black bar on either side of the screen because it just doesn't fill the screen. So you're going to have black on each side. It's not ideal, but it does work if you need to put something up like this. You can. Generally, I would suggest making sure the images are sized to 1280 by 720 so they fill the screen nicely though. Now, just as an example, I'll open up. This is a screenshot of our management area, and you see all the different players that we have a bunch of different players running. We also see all the content that's running, and you'll notice how these are all color coded. green assets are in fact running and live on players right now. A gray asset like this currently is not scheduled and is not running. A blue asset is something that will be running. It's scheduled. It just hasn't hit its time to run on the screen yet. So we could schedule something for January of next year, and it would turn blue because it's not January. It will, however, come up on the screens and turn green come January 1st if that's when you've scheduled it to start. We have orange icons. The orange indicates that within 2 weeks, this asset is expiring, and you will need to pay attention to that. Either reschedule the asset, get new content for it, or replace it with something different. But just so you know, these are expiring, and the red assets are ones that have expired and are currently not on a screen and not running anywhere. Having them color coded like this is really fantastic. At a simple glance at the screen, you know what is running, what's not running, what needs attention, and it's very easy for whoever's managing the content to know what is on the screen and what needs their attention. So let's schedule this next one here, and let's take this one and schedule it to run January 1st until the end of March, like that, and we'll have this running only on the Office screen. Again, you click on the green save icon and it's now saved. You notice that this asset has now turned blue. That's indicating that it will be playing in the future. Right now it is not playing though. Now let's say you would like to add some weather information to your screen as well. We can do that simply by going to the new in the asset area, select new, and let's add a 36-hour weather forecast. We're going to do this for Winnipeg. We'll hit save. It's really all you need to do. The background changes dynamically based on time of day. The source information is Winnipeg. You can change that if you like. And we're going to show the temperatures in Celsius. If you want to display them in Fahrenheit, simply click on Fahrenheit and they will display in Fahrenheit. And again, this is basically just a JPEG. So we'll set this to 30 seconds because there's a lot of information here. We want that to stay up on the screen just a little bit longer. And we want this to essentially be an ongoing thing. So we'll set this to 2040. That'll be years down the road. And we're going to play this on all of the players, and we're going to save that. And you notice that it is now green. It is now playing on all of the players. We're just going to go to show the players here, and you can click on any one of these and you can see what is in fact playing. You notice that we have the one Simmons Golden advertise ad piece here, the asset, which is a blue one, which is scheduled to come up January 1st. The other ones do not have it because we didn't schedule it into those, but you can see what is running on all of these players. You can also organize these folders a little further. It's pretty straightforward now with just a handful of assets, but let's say you have a bunch of assets in this area. And maybe at Christmas time, you have a bunch of assets that you want to run specifically at Christmas. And you don't need to see them throughout the rest of the year. So simply going on new and new folder, and we'll call this Christmas. There we go. And we now have a folder called Christmas. The folders are simply a place to organize your assets. They serve no other purpose other than organizing. We can click on Christmas. I'm going to open up these folders here again, and we're going to select two more items. Again, 2 video files here, and I'll just drag them into this area. And you notice them loading here. They are now sitting inside the Christmas folder. We don't see them here. and it just kind of cleans things up and makes things look a little bit neater for you. There's a unique way of displaying a group of assets as well. We're going to go here and go to New Playgroup. Now, just for this example, we are approaching Christmas here, so I'm stuck on Christmas. We'll go to Christmas and hit OK. We've now created a playgroup called Christmas. Now, what's the difference between a folder and a playgroup? Well, as I mentioned, a folder is simply to organize your assets so you don't see them all at one time, and you can just kind of organize things a bit better. The playgroup, however, this entire group can be scheduled into a playlist. A folder cannot be scheduled. The folder just takes you into the folder and you can see the assets that are in it. With a playgroup, you go into it and you can actually load more assets into this folder, and these assets can be played in a playgroup. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just reload the same Christmas files here. We'll have them load up into our Christmas playgroup. And we have them loaded here. And you notice that we have duration of 5 seconds and 15 seconds. So vastly different time lengths, but that's not a problem. Let's take this entire playgroup. Let's select synchronize the assets. So we'll click on that, which that means that whenever we schedule in the playgroup, all the assets within that group are going to adopt those same times and scheduling that we have for the initial playgroup that we're scheduling. So in this case, we called it Christmas. Let's go December 1st to December 26th, let's say. And it's going to be everywhere. We're going to play it on all of our screens again. And you do have a choice to randomize, which means that when the playgroup comes up, you might have 20 assets in here, and it will pick one of the 20, but in no particular order. Generally, I like the sequential method better, which is how it works by default. So once you've got it scheduled, December 1st to December 26th, on every day of the week, and on all of our players, we'll hit save. And you notice how everything turns green because all of them are now scheduled to play on those dates. Now, I'll show you how this works. We'll go to one of the players here, and you notice how we have the one asset, which is the Maverick Streaming. Then we have the weather asset, which we created. Then we have the Christmas sequential. Now, what happens? It'll play the first asset, the next one. Then when it hits Christmas sequential, it's going to play the first asset that is within that folder. Then it comes up, plays the first one, the second one, it hits Christmas sequential again, then it plays the next asset that's in that folder and goes back up to the top and carries on like this. And if you had 10 assets, it would keep going down the list of assets inside this playgroup. So you might have a bunch of different Christmas messages, but you might not want to display 20 Christmas messages all the time. But what you can do is you can throw them all into one location like this, and you can have a bunch of different specials and different ads running for your product. And one spot out of the whole playlist is going to display a Christmas message. And that message is going to change every time that spot comes up. So it gives it a fresh look and just kind of keeps it a little more entertaining by doing that. Now, you can also, within a playgroup, we'll just select this one here. We could have this specific asset, if we wanted, could end, let's say, on the 24th. We don't want it to run until after Christmas. So we're going to end it on the 24th. And we could save that. So this asset runs till the 26th. The next asset will run till the 24th. So you can have independent scheduling within this playgroup, and it just allows for another way of running through multiple pieces that pertain to the same product, and just keeps it fresh and entertaining. I hope you found that helpful, and we look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions or suggestions for that matter, we're always looking to improve our product. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. We'll be glad to help you out. Take care and talk to you soon.